Okay, guys, so we've had an uptick in the urgency and concern of COVID as of late. So I wanted to put another video out to kind of get everybody's mindset right on how to handle this if you're a face-to-face agent so that you can survive and then thrive. My name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare, and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. So a couple of things on the COVID pandemic crisis. First of all, COVID is not stopping this business, guys. So if you're thinking about getting out of this business, please don't. This is the best opportunity to sell life insurance and health insurance. Because why? Because when there's a pandemic and people think that people are dying in such large troves, they want insurance. They want to be protected. They want the risk of death to be mitigated. This is why this business has been wonderful to me this entire year when so many industries have been getting crushed, okay? So you got to figure out how to stay into this business. So if you're face-to-face and you're wondering, first of all, how can I deal with this business more so? You might be thinking, maybe I should switch to telesales. And maybe that's a good idea. It's going to kind of come down to what your personal convictions are. Some people want to go into telesales, but they look as a way to kind of scale into it. I don't think so. I think you should just get started in telesales if that's really where you want to be. Others just don't know how to deal with the rejection issues. Part of the problem here too is how to look at the COVID concern as a way to book opportunity or as a way to deal with opportunity as well. And to understand it in the scheme of things, it's really, in most cases, it is a, how do I say, not a true obstacle. Okay, I know that may sound surprising. Let me explain myself. So any of us who've been around a long time know that there are objections that people say that sound legitimate. The one that comes to mind all the time is the Christmas objection. Oh, I got to get my grandkids Christmas. So I can't have you over for 5 minutes to talk about something extremely important, right? And we hang up the phone and kind of believe it, and then wonder if this business actually has any validity or strength. COVID, in a sense, is like that. Here's the thing, guys. Why do I say this? Isn't this some pandemic? Isn't this something that's taken a lot of lives, etc.? Well, here's the thing you got to remember. And is this even believable that people don't want to see you? Here's the thing you got to remember. Number one, what people say they're going to do versus what they actually do always changes. It's always different, okay? There are loads of people out there who don't want to go into public. They don't want to not wear a mask. They will tell you they're concerned, they're afraid, and they want to take proper steps to protect themselves and their family. But when it comes down to introducing a variable into that belief system, it's almost always compromised in some way. And the person justifies the compromise. Again, let's take, for example, somebody who is concerned about COVID and doesn't have life insurance. They recognize this and they're scared of it. They know they need life insurance, but they won't do anything in public. They won't not wear a mask or whatever, right? I show up and call them on the phone, or show up at the door and talk about how to help them with this because they sent back a direct mail or a Facebook lead. They initially say something like, well, I'm interested, but this whole COVID thing's got me scared. I don't want to do anything. Or maybe they don't even say I'm interested. Oh, I don't meet anybody. I'm not sure about with this COVID thing. Does that mean there's no opportunity? No. It means you as the agent need to think creatively. You need to think on your feet and not let this excuse get in the way of helping somebody with something that they really need. So how do you do that? Again, the way that you handle the problems like COVID is not to run from them as far as a sales issue. It's how to think on your feet, how to avoid the obstacle altogether, to still make opportunities come. So for example, the best way to deal with this objection is to treat it like it's an objection. And there's no reason you couldn't do the same thing we're talking about if, let's say, for example, you said, hey, that's fine. I don't need to see you in person. Why don't I sit out in my car and call you from there? And then we can just do this over the phone that way. Or better yet, why don't you sit out in the porch with me? And then you sit over there, we'll be socially distant, I'll wear my mask. Or just mention, well, that's okay, I got my mask and hand sanitizer, I'll sit 6 feet in front of you or behind you, or whatever you want me to sit. Can I come in? You'll find that a lot of those people with the conviction, supposedly, that they believe this whole thing and don't want to expose themselves will compromise because living in life is not so fundamental that you can't think out that life isn't a vacuum, okay? Things in life happen with unique, interesting variables. You yourself are a variable to this whole question, along with the fact that they need life insurance, but there's a kind of a COVID concern. The important thing to remember is that you cannot just believe this stuff on its surface. This is the hardest thing for me as a newer agent, even experienced agent, realizing you just can't believe a lot of the stuff that people say. And a lot of the times people say things without critical thought, so that they haven't gotten to the point where they say, well, yeah, I do need life insurance, and you wearing a mask outside and me talking through my screen door is a good enough compromise, but it is. So that's how you got to look at this, guys. And if you're not there thinking about this at this point, you've got to, because you won't. Here's the thing. This isn't a COVID problem as much as it is a sales problem. And you need to learn this about human behavior and psychology and accept it, and then and work accordingly around it if you're to have any success during COVID, after COVID, or whenever. Because this is going to be a recurring theme in your life about how do you deal with adversity. And the thing is you can't trust people's first reactions. That is a fundamental truism about any kind of persuasive sales efforts, okay? So to me, that's the big thing, guys. Certainly come equipped, be socially distant, be respectful. There's ways to accomplish this business despite there being this pandemic, okay? The other thing, too, is that if you just don't believe what I'm saying, or if you're in a situation where things have just gotten worse and the state you're in is locked down, or the county you're in is locked down and won't let you leave your house, and you just don't have the same, freedom, I guess you could say, as other people in other parts of the country, then just switch to telesales. The flip side to all this pandemic stuff is that more people are welcoming and fine with a telesales-based sales call or virtual-based sales call. As a way to facilitate business. It's not, in my opinion, as good as face-to-face, but there's plenty of examples of people being successful in my agency and likewise. So you just got to figure out what's good for you. If you're coming into this and you really feel strongly about telesales, do telesales. We can help you with that. I train agents to do telesales successfully. It's very similar to face-to-face sales, but it's different too. Also, if you're doing face-to-face sales and you're running into struggles, look at this more as a way to improve maybe a weakness you're unaware of versus running away from the problem. Again, the only way to have growth in life is to experience adversity, true growth, which means you've got to bear the adversity and grow from it, okay? So there's my thoughts on COVID. This business is not over. It's only getting better, and you just need to adapt with the times, however you decide to, whether that's getting better at face-to-face or just going into telesales to yield and leverage the outsized opportunities there are now versus even before all of this COVID nonsense started. All right, guys, my name is David Duford, owner of Duford Insurance Group. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you would like to have more of these videos. Otherwise, if you got any questions, comments, please leave them below. And then there's links above and below if you'd like to learn more about how my agency works. Hope you guys have a good day. See you next time. Bye.